Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel, your home for all things football gossip, transfer drama, and La Liga twists. Today we're diving into the latest buzz around Barcelona's rising star Gerard Martin. After a rough week at the Camp Nou, reports are swirling that West Ham United could be plotting a surprise move. But how did Gerard react to this shock Premier League link? Stay tuned, we've got the full scoop, his reaction, and what this could mean for both clubs. The young left-back dislocated a bone in his hand as Spain kicked off their Under-21 European Championship campaign with a dramatic 3-2 win over Slovakia on Wednesday. Gerard Martin's tournament is over then before it ever really began. The La Liga champion heads back to Catalonia for immediate surgery. His hopes of joining Dani Olmo, Mikel Oyarzabal, Fabian Ruiz and Thiago Alcantara in a long list of Spanish stars with a U21 Euro winners medal on their CV going up in smoke as a result. A West Ham United fanbase already driven to insanity by a non-existent start to the summer window then, may quip with a wry smile that being linked with the London Stadium outfit is now only the second worst thing to happen to Gerard Martin this week. Barcelona left-back Gerard Martin reacts to West Ham United links. Spanish publication Sport claimed that Wolverhampton Wanderers and AFC Bournemouth have identified Gerard Martin as a potential replacement for the departed Ryan Ait-Nouri or Milos Kerkez. Ait-Nouri completed his switch to Manchester City a few days ago. Kerkez, meanwhile, is expected at Anfield after Liverpool seal a British record deal for Florian Wirtz. Sport add that Barcelona may be willing to consider offers in the region of £10 million. Barcelona and 3 more Club World Cup snubs who benefit from missing out. Would you rather have a shot at winning a fake trophy or a few more weeks of rest? FIFA aimed to create a tournament that could credibly claim to crown the best club team in the world. But their method for determining which teams actually make the Club World Cup was, well, flawed to say the least. The limit of 2 clubs per country and the emphasis on UEFA's ranking system has created a format in which reigning champions stay at home while the teams they beat in domestic competition are off to the States for the summer. Not that they necessarily mind, of course. In a day and age in which soccer's off-season keeps getting smaller and smaller, you could argue that every team would rather be resting up for a few weeks rather than crossing continents to compete for a trophy that still doesn't carry much of any prestige. In fact, which teams did and didn't qualify for the Club World Cup could have a ripple effect into next season. Here are 4 particularly egregious snubs who stand to be as fresh as possible when their domestic seasons kick off. 4. Napoli. Speaking of FIFA prioritizing international competition over domestic success, Napoli has won the Scudetto twice in the last 3 years, including this past season when the Azzurri edged Inter in a thrilling title race. And yet, it's Inter who will be participating in the Club World Cup as one of Italy's 2 representatives along with Juventus, rewarded for appearing in the Champions League final back in 2023. Phil Neville on MLS clubs' chances at Club World Cup. FIFA aimed to create a tournament that could credibly claim to crown the best club team in the world. But their method for determining which teams actually make the Club World Cup was, well, flawed to say the least. The limit of 2 clubs per country and the emphasis on UEFA's ranking system has created a format in which reigning champions stay at home while the teams they beat in domestic competition are off to the States for the summer. Not that they necessarily mind, of course. In a day and age in which soccer's off-season keeps getting smaller and smaller, you could argue that every team would rather be resting up for a few weeks rather than crossing continents to compete for a trophy that still doesn't carry much of any prestige. In fact, which teams did and didn't qualify for the Club World Cup could have a ripple effect into next season. Here are 4 particularly egregious snubs who stand to be as fresh as possible when their domestic seasons kick off. 3. Arsenal. Arsenal, along with another entry on this list, were left out by virtue of England simply having too many Premier League clubs who ranked highly. Chelsea, 2021, and Manchester City, 2023, have both earned major international trophies in recent years, and that made them very tough to beat for these purposes. The Gunners likely had high hopes after blasting Real Madrid to reach the Champions League semis, but their loss to PSG left them on the outside looking in. Mikel Arteta would likely just as well stay home, though, as he prepares to try and get his side back to the top of the Premier League mountain for the first time since the 2003-2004 Invincibles. 2. Barcelona. La Liga? Check. Copa del Rey? Yep. Spanish Super Cup? You bet. Lamine Yamal and company won just about everything a team can win domestically this season. And yet they still found themselves on the outside looking in, left out in favor of rival Real Madrid, which automatically qualified thanks to its 2022 Champions League title, and Atletico, which had a stronger coefficient ranking thanks to UCL knockout appearances in 4 of the last 5 years. But Barcelona is likely just fine kicking its feet up and watching its primary domestic competition battle through weeks of international competition right on the heels of a grueling La Liga campaign. Not a single fan would trade any of the trophies Barca won this season for a Club World Cup, and avoiding the risk of injury alone is worth the snub. 1. Liverpool. Yes, really, the domestic champions of England, Italy and Spain will all find themselves at home rather than participating in the Club World Cup, which sure would seem to raise some questions about how exactly FIFA organized this thing. Much like Arsenal, the Reds were blocked by Chelsea and Man City's respective Champions League titles. Once Arne Slot's side fell in a shootout to PSG in the round of 16 this year, their Club World Cup fate was all but sealed. No matter. Liverpool already captured the trophy that really matters, securing the Premier League title in front of fans for the first time in 35 years. And because this is a club that knows all too well how a season can be derailed by injuries to key pieces, you can bet they're happy to keep Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and company on ice while Pep Guardiola's bunch goes through a grueling summer. So, there you have it, Gerard Martin isn't exactly jumping at the idea of joining West Ham, and who can blame him? Whether this rumor fizzles out or catches fire, we'll keep you updated on all the latest. What do you think? Should Gerard consider a Premier League switch or fight for his place at Barca? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a moment of the transfer drama. Catch you next time. Big breaking news from the Camp Nou. Barcelona are once again cleaning house, and this time, it's another out-of-favor star who could be shown the door. Reports suggest the club is even considering a contract termination. But it doesn't end there. This player is now being eyed by PSG as a potential Donnarumma successor, with Manchester City and Newcastle United also keeping close tabs. What's really going on behind the scenes? And is this the end of the road for yet another Barcelona talent? Stay tuned because we're breaking it all down, transfers, rumors and all the drama coming your way. La Liga giants Barcelona are taking into consideration a contract termination for a returning member of the club's loan army. That's according to Diario Sport, who point towards Oriol Romeu as the player in question. Midfielder Romeu for his part spent this past season plying his trade with Girona, on a temporary basis away from parent club Barcelona. And the 33-year-old went on to endure something of a hit-and-miss time of things back at the Estadi Montilivi, racking up starts in just shy of half of Girona's La Liga fixtures. His performances across these outings didn't prove sufficient to convince the board at the Estadi Montilivi of the merits of forking out a fee for Romeu's signature, though, culminating in his official return to Barcelona earlier this month. And if the latest word stemming from the media is anything to go by, then the Spaniard appears to be short on suitors with a view to next season too. So much so that, as per a report from Sport, Romeu could go through a contract termination similar to the one that Barca recently agreed with Clement Lenglet. That is, a small compensation and the letter of freedom for the player to negotiate with any other club. Barcelona ready to cut ties with forgotten star? Big clubs on alert. Barcelona need to move players on this summer in order to ease their financial woes, and Ansu Fati is one that will go during the second transfer window, which opens for business at the start of July. The young attacker is prepared to leave after falling out of favor under Hansi Flick, and the expectation is that he will continue his career in France. In recent weeks, it has been revealed that Barcelona are in talks to loan Fati to AS Monaco. A deal is believed to be close, and soon the expectation is that everything will be finalized. Ansu Fati closing in on Barcelona exit as AS Monaco wait. Fati will almost certainly join Monaco on a permanent transfer or season-long loan with an option to buy, with Sport saying that any deal will be worth in the region of 15 million euros. And the report has also revealed that the player is expected to agree to everything next week upon returning from his holiday. Fati has reportedly set a deadline for a deal to be completed by the end of June, with the reason for this believed to be related to tax purposes. But while it is not ideal for a clock to be set on this, Barcelona are confident that everything will be finalized in the next couple of weeks. It has recently been reported that some complications have arisen during negotiations between Barcelona and Monaco, but the latest is that things are still on track. All parties are hopeful of progress taking place at the start of next week, and barring any further worries, it appears that everything will work out. PSG want Barcelona keeper to replace Donnarumma, Man City and Newcastle also interested. PSG face a major decision, and clubs like Inter Milan and Manchester United will be watching with interest. Is Gianluigi Donnarumma still the long-term answer in goal? He's under contract through 2026, and interest from top European sides is picking up. Since joining from AC Milan in 2021, Donnarumma has come through in big moments. especially in shootouts and clutch saves, but his time in Paris hasn't been without missteps. His high-profile mistake against Real Madrid in the 2022 Champions League still lingers, raising questions about his reliability under pressure. Now, with PSG winning the Champions League, the pressure is back on to get a deal. After a string of strong performances, he solidified that he's the club's #1 in goal. However, with time ticking on his contract, other clubs will be ready to pounce. Could PSG eye Barcelona veteran for goalkeeping job? If both parties are unable to reach an agreement on an extension, the Parisians could have to look for a long-term goalkeeper and part ways with Donnarumma this summer as not to lose him on a free transfer. As for a replacement, Bild reports that if Marc-Andre ter Stegen leaves Barcelona, potential landing spots include PSG, AC Milan, Manchester City, Juventus and Newcastle United. Current Man United goalkeeper situation. Andre Onana is the current #1. He had a rough start in the Premier League after arriving from Inter Milan. Onana is good with his feet, key to Erik ten Hag's build-up play, but has been inconsistent in shot stopping, especially early in the 2023-24 season. Backup options like Altay Bayender or Tom Heaton don't offer elite-level competition. Magnifying glass tilted left, this opens the door for serious competition, or even a replacement, if the right keeper becomes available. Elite shot stopping. At his best, Donnarumma is among the top 5 shot stoppers in the world. Quick reflexes, huge reach and composure in 1v1s. Big game experience. He's a Euro 2020 winner with Italy and has played Champions League football with PSG and AC Milan. Physical presence. At 6 feet 5 inches, 1.96 meters, he dominates in the air, which is something United's current keepers don't always do well. Is still young. Despite all that experience, he's only 26 years old. Goalkeepers often peak in their late 20s/early 30s. Small orange diamond strengths. Donnarumma would provide more shot-stopping reliability than Onana. With United's leaky defense, having a commanding presence in goal could be a game-changer. Small orange diamond weaknesses. Donnarumma is not as good with the ball at his feet as Onana. Erik ten Hag's system relies on building from the back, and Donnarumma may struggle under heavy pressing from opponents. Backhand index pointing right. Conclusion. If ten Hag is willing to sacrifice some build-up quality for better pure goalkeeping, Donnarumma is a great fit. Assigning Donnarumma would signal a shift, defensive stability over risky possession-based play. It would create healthy competition for Onana, possibly pushing him to raise his game or lead to a transfer. Could be a core figure in a defensive rebuild alongside a new center-back or right-back. PSG may be open to selling if they sign a replacement like a Barcelona keeper. Donnarumma's wages are very high, likely over £200,000 per week. And Manchester United would have to weigh the cost against FFP rules and squad balance. So there you have it. Barcelona might be ready to cut ties with another star, and the transfer dominoes could fall fast. PSG, Man City and Newcastle are all circling, but where will he land next? What do you think? Should Barca terminate his contract? And who should sign him next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a big transfer update. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Asterisk.